Okay, this is our last lesson of the year, rearranging before substitution. Now we did substitution where one of these variables already solved for, and we would just plug what the variable is equal to into where it needed to go. This time, what we have here are these are called systems of linear equations. There's two equations, and if we were to graph both of these equations, they would intersect at one point. An ordered pair, they would intersect at a point xy. There's some value in x and y. There's just one point that these two lines are going to intersect in. And our job is to find out the point where these two lines intersect. So the way we do this is we have to rearrange before we use our substitution method, which means we need to get one of these variables, either this guy or this guy or this guy or this guy alone before we can substitute. So what we do is we look at our two equations and we say which variable looks the easiest to get by itself. So we look around and we say, you know what, the x, this one doesn't have any coefficients, so this one would probably be the easiest to get by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this guy over here, and the x will be by itself. So let's do that first. So we're going to get x equals, and what I'm really doing is I'm adding 2y to both sides. When I say move it to the other side, we're not really just moving it, we're doing the same thing on both sides of the equation. So we're going to get 2x equals 2y. I like to put the variable first, plus 9. So I got the x all by itself. Now this should look more to you like the problems that we did in the previous lesson. So we rearranged. That's what it says, rearranging before substitution. So to rearrange, you pick one of these four variables and you get it by yourself. You could get any of these variables by themselves, but you would end up with fractions because you would have to divide by the coefficient. Now we take what x is equal to, so we use this first equation to isolate the x. Now we know that x is equal to 2y plus 9, and we're going to go into the second equation, and where the x is, we're going to put the 2y plus 9. So let's give that a try here. So we're going to say 2, and instead of the x, we're going to put what x is equal to. X is equal to 2y, that's another problem, 2y, another problem, plus 9. That x was right here, that x now is no longer an x, it's what x is equal to, which is 2y plus 9. Now we're going to just write the rest of the problem, minus 3y. Uh-oh, we're having 10 problems here. 3y equals 5. So everything, the second equation stays the same, except for this x right here, we're putting what x is equal to. The x is equal to this, so we substitute. Now we have to distribute, so we're going to get 4y plus 18 minus 3y equals 5. 4y minus 3y is just y, plus 18 equals 5. And we get y equals, now we're going to subtract 18 from both sides, y equals minus 13. Now we have the first part of our ordered pair. The lines are going to intersect with y equals negative 13, but we have to find both x and y. So the way we find x is, remember we put this one, we rearranged and got x by itself? We're going to take this y value and we're going to go up here and we're going to put it in where the y is. So we're going to get x equals, that's what we're looking for, 2 times minus 13, because that's what y is equal. We're just substituting. This is all substitution, plus 9. So we're going to get x equals negative 26 plus 9, which would be negative 17. So we need an x value and the y value. So the answer to this is our ordered pair minus 17, x goes first, x comes before y in alphabet, minus 13. Strange answers, but at least they're not fractions, right? Okay, let's try another one of these. Okay, another system of linear equations. They're both straight lines. They're linear equations. That means the degree of the equation is 1. This term is first degree, this term's first degree, so it's a first degree equation. Now we look to see which one would be the easiest thing to solve for. Well, it looks like this one right here, the y. Same idea. We'll just get this y by itself, which means we're going to take the 3x over here by subtracting 3x from both sides. So we have left over here, we have y equals minus 3x plus 18. Again, I like to put the variable first. That's just the standard form, the slope-intercept form for a line. So we may as well get in the habit of writing y equals the x term plus the constant. Now we're going to go into the second equation. This is the one we haven't used yet. So we're going to go up to the one we haven't used. This is what y equals right here. This is what y is. So we're going to take that and put it where the y is. Now be very, very careful. There's a negative sign right here that you don't want to forget about. So let's go and do this. So we write the 2x, we're using this equation, minus, that's a big deal. Now you're going to need to put parentheses, because if you don't, you're going to mess your signs up. So we're going to put our parentheses, and we're going to put what y is equal to. Y is equal to minus 3x plus 18. Plus 18. If you didn't have your parentheses, it would be hard to remember that you're going to need to distribute this negative sign. You might think it's just negative 3x and then the plus 18. So you need to use parentheses when you're substituting. See, I use parentheses over here. You have to use your parentheses when you're substituting. Equals, now we're just popping down what's here. All you did was you took this y right here, and instead of writing the y, you wrote what y is equal to. Y is equal to minus 3x plus 18 equals 2. Now we have one variable in one equation. You can only solve one variable in one equation. So let's just continue with this. I'll explain that later. 2x plus 3x minus 18, the tricky part, equals 2. 5x minus 18 equals 2. 5x, I'm adding 18 to both sides. So if I add 18 to this side, it's gone. If I add 18 to this side, I get 20. Then we get x equals 4. And we still get y. Where do you find y? Where do you go to do that? Think about it for a second. We go up to the one that we rearranged. So we're going to take this 4 up here, where the x is. So we're going to get y equals minus 3 times 4 plus 18. Y equals minus 12 plus 18. And we finally get y equals 6. And write that as an ordered pair. That's the correct way to do it. 4, comma. So hopefully that's not too confusing. Do your best with that. Rewatch the video if you get stuck, and we'll go over this when we come back. Now tomorrow you have a test. I'm going to email the test to your parents, and they can give you the test. Try to stay up with it so you don't put it off over Christmas break. You can be done tomorrow if you kept up. So that's it for lesson 59. if I can